Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Simulation Talk 341. Wonderful Friday. Let's put our website over here. Okay, we are on. Let's dive into some fun stuff. Fun stuff. Okay, good idea. Let me put it right there. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody, on TikTok. Cool Ram Raja. Divergent Normies in the house. Bonnet, baby 82, Divergent Normie. Good. Thank you so much for the likes. Appreciate you. Welcome, everybody, joining on YouTube and X and Twitch. Let me also start the stage on Discord so we can have some interaction there. There we have it. Beautiful. Stage is on. Today I think, oh, this is so cool. This is such a great picture. James shared last time. That's awesome. Welcome. Let me also maybe announce our live on Discord as well, just because I kind of jumped out of nowhere. Beautiful. How do we go about this? There we go. There we go. Well, nope. Wrong button. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's put it on our Discord group. On our general chat. Boom. Money. All right. Let's dive in, folks. Happy Friday, first of all. Welcome to everybody who are joining. I know it's, again, out of left field, but I just put it on our Discord, so it should be pretty quickly. Welcome, everybody who are joining on TikTok. Happy Friday. Welcome to Simulation Talk 341, the channel revolving around the simulation hypothesis. But of course, we talk about all kinds of things: science, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever we feel like we talk about. What's up? What's up, Alpha? All right. So, the second I'll see a few more people. What up, Guru? Good to see you, brother. The second I see a little bit more people showing up, we'll be able to jump in. Whoops. Sorry about this, TikTok. Apologies. Thank you for jumping on, brother. I know sometimes I'm surprising even you. So we wait for a few more people to show up and then we'll proceed. In the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions while we wait for the people to show up, feel free to ask. Good turn up today on TikTok. Wonderful. If you guys are just joining in, this is the Simulation Talk. 341 today. So welcome to the channel if you're new. And thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it, Lux. We talk about all kinds of topics on this channel if you're new to the channel. But in the last few weeks, I've been encouraging more of a human experience-based kind conversation that talks more about what we are, who we are, what it's like to be you in this world. Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Why? Maybe we can talk about certain situations that people get into with different people, how you process world events, how we should think about ourselves. One of the things I've been encouraging a lot recently was our campaign of Human First, which denotes the attitude of treating each other as a human first before any political affiliation or conviction you might have about the world. I think it's a very important time to emphasize this attitude. Thank you, Divergent Normie. Thank you, everybody who are liking. I appreciate it. Okay, slowly people are trickling in. Tomorrow, the episode with Andres Gomez is being released to the public on my channel and Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. Come and check it out tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time is when it's going to be released. So 5 p.m. Western Time or Pacific Time. Sorry, Western Time. I guess it's Western Time. Thank you, Guru. Appreciate you, brother. And yeah, well, because today I came on without really announcing anything. It usually takes people a second to show up, but hopefully people will in a moment. How was your week? How was everybody's week? How's everybody's week? How's your week, Guru? Sean is in the house. Always good to see Sean. Oh, then go start simulation 341. How you doing, brother? Oh, maybe Sean just wants to stay behind the scenes to the end. That's okay.
I'm good. Sorry, just setting up my mic. How are you?
I'm doing great, brother. Good to see you. How was your week? A long breath before the answer.
Busy, but not productive.
Oh, well, that happens too sometimes. That's okay. What is it? How do you define unproductive? Have not achieved the goals you wanted to achieve? What does that mean?
Let's say I've well, you already know I'm working on a creative project that it's pretty much taking all my waking hours. So no work is getting done aside from work associated to that. So that's what I would consider not too productive. Nothing else is moving.
But that's also beautiful. I mean, it's productive in another sense. It feeds your soul, which allows you to sustain. Yeah, and it allows you to sustain
you. A long time.
Allows you to sustain your being for a lot longer and enjoy this life.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm so concentrated on being productive on multiple fronts that exactly that I end up burning out. So it's good that I guess this is, in a way, it's kind of possessing me to just concentrate on one creative endeavor at a time rather than spread myself too thin. So you're right. I'm going to shift my perspective. It was a very productive week, Dan. How was yours?
Boom. It was also productive. Arts and crafts, baby.
Yes, sir.
What up, Nico? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. All important people are here. And Dinah 1937 saying, I went to see the cone. Welcome to the family. If you go to codeofreality.com, you can find the protocol and everything else you need to figure out how to do so. What up, Harley? Good to see you. Okay. The Doxy father. Nick Archer. How is it coming along good though? Like, is it something that you would share with the world or no? I'm talking to you, Sean.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to catch up the line. What was that?
Oh, I said, is this something you're going to share with the world as well? People are going to be able to hear it?
Well, that's a fair question. I guess I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I'm definitely sharing it with one person, and then I guess we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. If it's any good for one person, maybe you can share it with more people.
I guess I shouldn't be selfish.
Yeah, if it's any good, you wouldn't.
It is a creative project that the inspiration was based around, the interactions that I had with one person. And it's a birthday present to them that I'm working on this for. So I guess it's more up to them than it is to me, because it'll be theirs to decide what happens with it.
When is their birthday?
It is tomorrow.
Woo!
Oh my God.
Happy early birthday.
I gotta finish this thing. Yeah, my birthday's the day after. So
wait, what is the day after?
My birthday's
oh, no way. Wow. Well, yeah, I remember. You also happy early birthday.
Well, thank you, sir.
That's very exciting. Yeah. Also, it's a good age, man. It's a good age to be.
Yeah, 42 was a really action-packed year, I gotta tell you.
The 42nd one?
Moving up to 43 now.
Wait, so you're gonna be
So-
43 on this birthday?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you're slightly older than myself. That's awesome. That yeah, so I'm gonna be in January. So with that this makes you, are you Capricorn already? No, that's not Capricorn yet. This
No, it's I'm right
Sa-
on the cusp between Scorpio and Sagittarius.
Scorpio,
on the
Sagittarius.
first
Sorry,
day
not
of
Capricorn at all. Like Sagittarius. Right. I was confused. Capricorn's the
Yeah.
beginning of January, right? Okay.
And yeah, so it's December something to January something.
So what does that mean? Which one is it though? Is it Scorpio or Sag?
Scorpio finishes on the 22nd, so
Mm.
finishes tomorrow. Then
Mhm.
Sagittarius starts Sunday and goes up until sometime in December. And then sometime in December till sometime in January is Capricorn.
Cool. Yeah, I'm so terrible with these. I remember kind of some around my
I'm
birthday.
surprised I remember mine, so don't worry.
It is kind of surprising how sometimes there are these interesting characteristics of particular signs that you kind of always meet across the board, and it's like, huh?
It's weird, eh?
Yeah, I was like, I was considered to be
Yeah.
complete nonsense, but I was like, wait a second, that's kind of weird. So, but maybe it has something to do with the time of the year.
I'm reminded of an experiment James Randi did. We might have talked about it on a previous live, where he handed out horoscopes to a room full of people,
Uh-huh.
and then he had them read them out, and then score on a paper. You know how accurate the person felt that it was, how much they felt it applied to them, how much they felt it applied to their current situation, and then the scores were pretty much like an impressive amount of people were like, yeah, this is crazy. It's really talking about me and my life. Like, this is insane. And he goes, okay, great. Now pass your paper to the left because I was actually their horoscope.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying is that when you see other people, there are these characteristics, though. That despite that, there are these characteristics that are weirdly.
Yeah, like a Leo is definitely a Leo.
Actually, I know very little about a Leo. My daughter is a Leo, but I don't know any other Leos, which is weird.
Oh, buckle up, my friend.
All right. All
No,
right.
just they're Leos. That's all. There's nothing wrong with them.
I love that the description of why we should be on the lookout is just the sign itself. What?
That's it.
Yeah, there's
Watch
nothing.
out for Scorpios. Why? Because they're Scorpios. Okay, thank you for explaining.
There you go. Science Coherent saying his daughter is Leo too. How old is your daughter? I've heard that people see the same code at the Dimitri Peak. Also, it is in Alex Gray's art. Good comment. It's just not the same symbols. So there are symbols that people see, but what we see in the laser does not look like the Alison Gray characters at all. Yeah. 2. Awesome. And now terrible 2's on top of it. Come on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so the most common email I get is that I see the code without the laser. I see the code even without the molecule. It's just that when we drill down to it, it turns out usually that it's not the same code. So the specifics actually matter a lot.
Yeah, which isn't to say that there isn't some substance there worth exploring as well.
Oh, absolutely. Of course.
The fact that people are seeing similar codes under the influence of different states, points to something definitely as well. So
I think that all of them are real. It's just interesting that there's none, that these similarities are not really there, or they're very clear.
It's crazy, and I think we were talking about this recently. How there are people that have reported under different tryptamines or different molecules. I know I'm one of them included, where I've seen the symbols on 2 occasions in the past in completely different contexts. No lasers, no DMT in the system. And that's what really kind of caught my eye with this project is the little glimpse I think that you gave in one of the trailers, because I think you guys went out of your way to make sure that you wouldn't prime the public too much with what to look for. But there was a little glimmer, a little peek at what the code was in one of the trailers at the beginning, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second. that looks really familiar.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting a friend who had also had gone through the same experience as me and seen the same symbols at the same time. I had him sketch them out because at that point, maybe I was primed by having looked at your video. So without priming him, I just asked him, from your best recollection, grab a Post-it, grab a pencil, sketch out what you think, what you remember of those symbols, and then go check out this video afterwards. And so we know there's no crosstalk. Send me the picture first, then I'll send you the link. And yeah, he confirmed that what I remembered was what he remembered, and it's what you had in the video, and what I've seen so far in other takes. So there's something there. It doesn't take away from the fact that DMT definitely seems to facilitate the gateway towards it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious to see what our research points to, man, because it's something repeatable. So
and that's the big one, yeah. And I would say, look, the whole I'm actually writing an article about this right now, trying to kind of like make these finer points more like fleshed out. And this, I really think, and I had this back and forth a few times with scientists and on these lives. I just truly think that there's a little bit too much to me that is made from the whole priming idea. I mean, in the end of the day, look, like if you can prime someone to see something forever, and it never resolves to anything else, then I mean that's the most powerful priming in history, I guess, which is indistinguishable from reality. Like if I can prime you in such a way that you will then never be able to see anything else, no matter what, that seems to be like an unfalsifiable claim by itself. Like because it sounds like it's just not realistic. You know, like you should be able to undo it or do something else with it. It's just too specific. I get the general skepticism around it, but I just feel like too much is made of that point. Like it's then why are we even taking seriously any of the other claims in psychedelics when people report seeing similar things? We all know about these things, so why wouldn't we postulate that those were primed? You can say that about anything, let alone the fact that priming is more of a blunt kind of thing. Like you can prime people towards a particular thing out of a particular set, let's say, like with cards or things like this, but like not in an infinite possibility space and the specifics that nobody can possibly know, like every single perturbation of what people meant. And in fact, one of the things that happens, even though I'm saying what I'm saying, people have their own idea of what that is. When I say code, people come back and say, you know, I didn't see zeros and ones. I saw these Japanese looking things. I was like, when did I say zeros and ones? So they just basically inferred 0 and 1 from code. They didn't even realize they were doing it. So it's just, it's interesting. So it's like, so they had a completely different thing in their heads. But yeah, when you show it, but still. Ooh, a lot of comments from X today. Exciting. Aura on X saying, sweet, I've never caught you live before. Come hang out with you, or wait. If you are up. Oh, just mentioned. Mark is saying, did you try having participants draw trace shapes? Yes. So if you guys go to veilbreak.ai, veilbreak.ai, here, I'll put it right here on Dango Thoughts on YouTube, which you guys should also follow, share, like, and subscribe. Go to veilbreak.ai, and there, it's a beautiful tool that Carmelo and my partner Carter built. This is, it gives you the glimpse into other people's experiments. There's also some images people that upload there. People draw symbols. So all of this information is there, and there's going to be a lot more of it as time goes by. And you can also join our Discord community, in which people share these ideas and also some of the drawings. And that is just Core, C-O-R, or Code of Reality on Discord. And you can find the link to this also on the main YouTube channel and on TikTok. What up, Violet Man? Violet Man. Clone cards? What does that mean? I don't know what clone cards are. Do you know what clone cards are? I was trying to tag my friend. Got it. Awesome. Welcome to all the listeners. If you're new, welcome to the channel, Simulation Talk. And this usual live is around the claim that I made, that I basically discovered proof that we live in a simulation. and we meet here on a semi-daily basis discussing this phenomenon and other things. Oh, and yeah, thank you so much, Dear Piss. IPA. It's such a funny handle. If you guys want to follow us from TikTok, from Twitch, come and follow on LaserX83. LaserX83. Come follow from there. Somebody's trying to come through. What up, Jeff? Can you hear me? Oh, he's still coming on. So yeah, LaserX83 is on Twitch. If you guys want to follow from there and help us grow, that would be awesome. Good. Thank you so much for joining from there. Have you ever looked into occultism and magic? Sure. There's a lot of naysayers and skeptics, but that's expected, I guess. The 90% of the over 3,000 people saw a similar thing. That it gives it away for sure. Yes, and I would say the main weight is actually in the observation itself. It's not even in the amount of people that see it. It's just kind of the rigidity with which it appears. What up, Jeff? All right. So it's not actually coming on. So please, usually this is exactly why. I don't know if it was by coincidence or not. Apologies, Jeff, but if you don't respond, I'm going to have to take you off just because it makes a weird noise. So if you guys want to come on, drop a subject that you want to talk about in the chat. And that way I can know if this is relevant to what we're talking about now and I can bring you up. Yeah, to me, the main proof is not going to be if more and more and more people see it, even though it lends some more credence to it. It's more if we can figure out how to do something with it. Again, guys, was it like the Sophia archetype? What was just like the Sophia archetype? Ultimate goddess. Oh, the ultimate goddess. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna go in that direction today, brother. I think today we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it a little bit easier today because today I'm not gonna have a long time to do this live, so I don't know if we're gonna dive into this subject, but it's a good one. Actually, remind me this in the next few days, and we might dive into it deeper. A lot for the practices of Aleister. Oh, yeah, okay. Aleister Crowley feel very legitimate. Called altered states of consciousness magic. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how relevant all these things are. That's my position. Or to be more accurate, I feel like these things are just too general. People ultimately saying that there's these alternate spaces and you claim that you know how to interact with them, which is what a lot of these claims are. It's not much. Like, unless you can see for yourself that something is happening there and something works, which from my experience, when you try these things, nothing ever works. These tools are just too general. They're not that interesting because they are just general claims about some other portion of reality beyond the veil. But that's a given. Like, of course, there's more things beyond the veil. The question is, what and exactly what can you show that you can substantiate from the space? So I find these claims to be very lacking, both intellectually, but also honestly from a practical standpoint. They're kind of vacuous to me. They're a little empty. And if we see something that works reliably, I would still be interested to know exactly why it works, not kind of, well, that's what it is, that's how it happens. That's never enough for me. What happens when we decode the code? Maybe we attain magical powers. Maybe. I just don't know what that would entail. And I don't even know what the thing is. I don't even know if it's code. So we know we're looking at some kind of a real structure that seems to be there no matter what. But what we do with it would depend very strongly on what we discover about its behavior over time. And currently, it's way too early to say. Actually, a lot of these topics and how I tend to think about them would be outlined in my conversation with Andres Gomez. If you join the membership on YouTube on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, you can just watch the conversation now. It's available for paying members. If not, I think tomorrow in the evening, it's going to become available, so you can watch that and decide for yourself. Let's see. Ah, all the good people are here. What up, Nico? How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm going great.
I have a question for you. So, yesterday we were talking about immortality,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wondering, do you think the desire for immortality is an attachment to the physical realm? And what if we are missing out on the next stage of the simulation, which is maybe nirvana, maybe it's hell, maybe it's who knows what it is, but are we supposed to stay in level 3 for this long?
If you have an infinite space of maybes and you have a space of a few legitimate maybe sures, which one would you pick?
I don't know. I mean, well, my physicalist mind says to go for the more statistically probable option of least suffering. And I think existence is pretty awesome, especially if I can kind of reverse the aging a little bit, because I'm starting to feel kind of the hardware breakdown. I kind of think 32 was optimal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyways, I'm wondering if I'm getting too attached to this though. Like, would the Buddha take that option? You know?
Well, according to the Buddha, there was no other way but to fully detach. But I think it's the hint of whether you sold a scam is usually when somebody tries to sell you something that is binary, when in reality nothing really is in the continuous space that you call experience. So this idea that what if we're making a mistake of trying not to die, and then that means that we can wait a second. Are you saying it's a binary? Like if we proceed of investigating how to live longer, somehow somebody's gonna go, oh, like they're gonna pull some kind of a plug. Like what is that? What is that about? Like you can investigate, and if and you move in a direction, and then you discover that it either holds water and does or it doesn't, and to what degree, and then you make an informed decision. It's not a binary; it's a continuum. So you live we already do this, right? People used to live till 30. That was the norm. Now people live till 80. We don't even bend an eye. Back then, if you would tell people if you live till 80, they would tell you the same thing probably. And to some degree, they would be right. I mean, at the age of 80, you're like falling apart and everything's difficult. But now if I'm telling you, okay, well, you're going to live till 500 and you're going to live in a good condition, what's give me one good argument against this? Oh, because you're going to discover that you're missing out on something after. Well, if you live longer, you'll probably discover more, and if it's true, then you'll probably also discover that you'll be like, oh, we actually are supposed to pass, and then you'll just do that. It's not a binary, like just like with everything else. So you go, you try. If you realize something else, you act accordingly. Does that not track?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
I guess I might get bored at 300 and just
highly doubt it.
Do something, you know.
I highly doubt it. the possibilities and the number of things that are probably going to be available at that point is I highly doubt you're ever going to be bored. But I think to me, if anything, I thought about this actually quite a bit. I think if I would get to do this, I think I'm going to try and pick a new career every 100 years. Just start from scratch in something I've never done before, and then just become the biggest expert in it. And just like every 100 years, different career. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like I've been
to increase my current record of 4 years in a career. I've shifted careers so many times, but yeah. I mean, I think I kind of come to the same conclusion as you, Dan, is that if we're here in one school of thought is to gather experiences and return those experiences from our perspective to the collective consciousness or to the simulation or whatever it may be,
Mhm.
even if it's just for the sake that the only reason to live, the only meaning to life is to live, then extending the time that we have here doesn't counteract what comes after.
Mhm.
Right? If anything, it just allows to have a broader understanding, a broader set of experiences to bring with us when we go on to that next stage, if there is one, or whatever that next stage might be. So yeah, I think
Exactly.
we're in accordance.
Yeah. And also, just to all the comments about what other people think, guys, seriously, you gotta live up a little bit. You should not care at all what other people think about you. If you know where you stand and why, if you really know and you understand why you have your position, what other people think should matter to you not at all. Like zero importance to what other people think. If you're coming from a real place and you know why you stand on your positions and why your convictions are what they are, what people think could matter less. That's just a fact about the world. Do you agree that the simulation is based off an intention and the level of spiritual energy or value X energy will guide you to where you need? I feel like you as well experience an incredible amount of synchronicities. My main theory right now. Yeah, absolutely. Your inner guidance, how you read the map, is definitely one big component for sure. They would have to do away with ageism in the workplace. That's funny. Science Coherence saying that's what I started doing. I don't expect dying anymore. There you go. I am crazy and I don't care. Boom. What other people think is none of my business. Exactly. People people who let me teach you something. This is just a fact. This is a fact. People who talk shit will talk shit about you no matter what you do. That's a fact. You know why? Because when people talk shit, it has nothing to do with you. I'll give you an example. Have you ever, if you ever been around somebody on like a bunch of MDMA, have you ever seen them complain about something in the world or about somebody? Have you ever seen somebody who truly are, even in an induced state of happiness, complaining about another person? No, never. You know why? Because people only complain when they hurt inside. That's your answer. So if somebody's talking shit about you, that means something is going on in them that makes them unhappy. And some of them talking something negative about someone else alleviates some of that because it takes away from the attention that they have to put on the fact that they are not great and they have to do something about it. That's the easy way, and very often that people deal with things. If you understand this, that people's criticism has nothing to do with you, you will become very happy very quickly.
And as Taylor Swift so elegantly put it, and the hater is going to hate.
that's very true. Yeah, you no matter what you do, they will complain. So if you become,
That's right.
if you don't do enough, you'll be like, this slacker. If you go after something and you try and achieve it, it's like, see, what an idiot. Try to achieve it, didn't get it. If you become really successful at something, look at this evil person. He probably stepped on everybody to get there. And if you don't think that's true, look how we're talking about the most successful people in this world. Do you think this has anything to do with what people actually think or understand about the trajectory of these people? No, it's just people are just, they feel terrible about themselves, so they have to criticize someone else. Have you ever encountered a psychic? What is Earl? Or is that a misspell? I don't know. IRL. What does that mean? Before. I met one at the bar by accident. I bet you it wasn't an accident. And now I'm just obsessed about elevating my consciousness to that level in real life. So is that a title? What is Psychic Earl? Is that something I'm not familiar with? It sounds something whimsical. Violet Man has some simulation inquiries. Sure, shoot. Violet Men is also very funny because I am dyslexic, so it's really funny. Oh, in real life. Got it. I'm terrible with acronyms, just so you guys know. Psychic in real life before. Yeah, I mean I met a lot of people in my journey that have very interesting possibility space. Let's just call it that. And my take on this whole endeavor of people having extra powers, let's say, superpowers, is that if the aim, and that's my take, this is not, I'm not trying to say that this is necessarily good or bad or anything like this. That's my take. That's how I live my life. If the reason for somebody's spiritual growth is that they're trying to get superpowers, they're in it for the wrong reasons, and that way or another, it will come back to bite them in the ass. Because the reason that I believe people get these extra abilities is because when you rise to a certain level of awareness, of just consciousness in general, more channels open for you to interact with. But what brought you there from the beginning is your ability to just let go and not aim towards a particular level of control or ego. And when you're in it for the superpower, that's a very ego-driven goal. Like I want to be able to do these things. The thing is, you might still be able to achieve this in some way, but if the aim is not for the greater good of all, you will always be limited in how far you want to go, how far you will go with this. And in fact, again, the emphasis the Buddha put on it, which is that none of it matters. Like none of it matters. Like if you get all these powers and all this extra content and amazing experiences, it's a beautiful stop and a gift. But if you're going to get attached to that, it's no different than being asleep, and it's not different than any other hurdle that will face you on the way to the final goal. The final goal is to let go of all of it. So for me, the difference between aiming towards one superpower and aiming towards, or a few superpowers and acquisition, and the aim towards acquisition of money and power for the sake of that, is exactly the same. They're not different at all. What is worth doing is trying to solve real problems that people real problems in this world. And if you solve enough of these problems, you're going to be rewarded. So you're going to get wealthier, let's say, because you solved a big problem. In that case, that's great because you aimed to solve the problem. You didn't aim to make money. You aimed to solve the problem. And as a result of that, you were rewarded. So if you aim to just become freer and to just act in such a way that will be for the greater good of all in general, you will be rewarded. And maybe if the rewards that were supposed to come your way are some of these superpowers, great. But if it's for the sake of those, then you will always limit yourself with how far you can advance and grow. That's my take on it. I was attacked at work for zero reason. Okay. We'll contend with the zero reason in a moment. I am a model nurse. I left nursing for intrinsic reward. Why? Interesting. What is a model nurse? You mean like you're a model, but you're also a nurse? Or is that like on your name tag?
A model citizen, a model nurse, somebody who's a good example of.
Got it. Okay, so it's not like a hello nurse like an Animaniacs. That's not what we're talking about?
They might be as well. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. So, because then you could just say I'm a hot nurse, which is actually a cool title. Like you would, you can just put it on the name tag. So, you were attacked for zero reason. Well, let's just say that you were attacked for a reason you do not know. Like you don't know what the reason was, because whatever the person was going through the person's mind, they had their reason, and it might. This is not to say that you had any fault in it. It's just that they definitely had a reason, even if the reason is just misfiring of some of their neurons. Maybe 15 years ago. Nice. So, but what is the question exactly? I told truth about bad patient care. Got it. Isn't that the doctor's job usually? Aleister Crowley said that ego is a crime and you're cut off from certain level of spirituality. Reminds me of what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. I never go like to these extremes in terms of like, I would never call it a crime, right? It is just the state of affairs. So the ego is absolutely a good thing. The ego is a really good thing. Without the ego, you wouldn't know the difference between your mouth and the couch. And you would be starving while trying to feed the couch and missing your mouth all the time. The ego provides the boundary that tells you where your agency begins and ends, in this world at least. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Let's just put this on the table very clearly. The ego is a wonderful thing. Thank God you have an ego. Okay. What is meant by maybe toxic ego is that you just aim for self-gratification and nothing else. That's pathological. But the ego is a wonderful thing, and you should be deeply grateful that you have one. What are your thoughts on telepathy? My identical twin and I have had it happen more than we admit. Yeah, I mean, after the telepathy tapes, it seems like it's very hard to deny, at least that there's something very serious there. I personally have never experienced it to like a substantial degree. I've had some moments in life, but not on a regular basis. So it's hard for me to say. I think telepathy can be explained by some cellular resonance and other quantum effects. Sure. It's just like we have to postulate a medium through which it all flows, correct? As Terence McKenna famously said, we already possess telepathy. It's just that the medium is air. And the way we do that is by sending air pressure waves through the air with our mouth. So if you think about it, I have a thought, I send it through the air, I translate it to mouth noises that then vibrate the air in a particular way. It then lands in somebody's ear, and then they reinterpret it. So when people say telepathy without speech, that would mean there would be some other medium through which the information flows. That would have to be the case. So what is that medium? If you want to talk about that, then it can deliver some answers. Thank you for that comment, Guru. Maybe microtubules, maybe. Shrooms, you can see the code, yes. Without ego, you just couldn't do anything in the physical world. Exactly. You experience enormous telepathy with plants. That's interesting. How are you, ISO? You are we are the advocates. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, again, I'm sorry to hear this, of course. I don't know what was that a question, or you just wanted to share? I thank you for sharing. I mean, it's unfortunate, of course. Not a fan of telepathy, by the way. Experienced twice on time on the update. It's hard to tell if it's your thoughts or someone else's. Well, I mean, oh, you mean like it's hard to say if you're not fooling yourself? True, but there are some moments in which you're like, wait, how did that person know? It does happen. I'm not putting it outside of the possibility that you can explain it in some way, but you would need quite a bit of them. You would need like 3.5 grams of them, probably. I see a massive spinning drum on shrooms when I close my eyes. Repeatedly. What do you think that means? Did you hear the Billy Corgan story of him saying he met a shapeshifter? What are your thoughts on that? Hold on. I gotta see faces. I'm terrible with names. Oh. I don't know. Right. I'm like, I forgot. Smashing Pumpkins, right? I don't know why I forgot that. I was like, this sounds very familiar. I don't know, man. Like, it's hard for me to comment on this. It's like my whole thing is that I'm actually very conservative with the kinds of things I take on board to be true. The claims that I'm making are based on very vast experience, direct experience of these things. I don't really believe anything. Anyone, anything. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to see it happening. Otherwise, I don't know anything. That's how I go through the world. Do I believe in past lives? Yeah, it does make sense to me. Do you ever wonder if you fought as a warrior your past life? No, not really. I am one of those people that wonders how come nobody was a cat or a snail? How come that never anyone's experience? Did you ever think about this? Everybody were like Cleopatra or Alexander the Great. Oh, I was a tree snail. I've never heard that story before. That's strange. I feel like being a snail would be dope. I think so too. It's much more peaceful. No, really, like truly, that's a real question that I have. Like anybody who believes in past lives, you should seriously ask yourself, how come nobody ever reports being some weird animal and dying horribly? Boring farmer. I wish I was my dog. She got it made. I agree. I wish I was my dog. Shame and believe nothing. The world is flat or round. I don't care. I can't see it for myself. No, yes, you can. You see the effects of knowing what the world actually is by the kinds of technologies that are built that can only be possible if we do understand that thing. That is plenty to establish certain claims. But something that nobody has ever seen before, that's a different story. Have you ever left your body? I'm thinking about doing it. I mean, if you can figure out how to do it without any danger to you, I mean, it sounds awesome. Maybe
Has anyone here in the on the stage tried the gateway protocol?
Is what is it?
Has anyone tried the gateway protocol?
I did. You tried?
And what was your experience with it?
Very interesting. Definitely felt some interesting things happening. I could all of a sudden feel certain internal sensations that were not mine. Like I know they were not mine. Some very interesting things for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it to at least try it and see what happens. You never tried?
Looked into the process. What does it entail?
Just laying down for 45 minutes every time and listening to the recording. That's it.
Okay, there's a recording to listen to.
Oh yeah. I'll send it to you. There's like even one for free on YouTube. But I have one of I think high definition sound now. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. I have read experience reports online with the laser code phenomenon that if they stare into the code longer than 1 minute, the code notices them and rushes towards them. Well, I wish they would report this on veilbreak.ai because that sounds super interesting.
Definitely.
And where online did this person see that?
Oh yeah, good question. Where did you see this online, Dinah? Grow Your Garden saying, what up, Ghost? Happen to be a model peer support specialist. What is that? What does that mean? Explain.
Now, again, we'll need clarification. Are we talking about like people take pictures of you or?
I dig the instrumentalist approach. The truth value is only instrumental, i.e., it's a specific tool to solve a specific problem, and for that it works. But what that says of the ultimate truth and reality, who knows? That's beyond the scope of an ability. I was joking because you guys sort of joked about what. Oh, got it. So I would contend with this. I think that this idea that people have that we only want to know things for the utilitarian function of just having more control. I think that's actually not at all why most people do things. I think the fact that you make something work is a hint that you understood something about the world. There's a connection there. There's a recognition by the world that you got something right. I think that's what it really is. And then as a result of that, there's a certain horizon that is visible to you through the fact that you can do this thing. But it will always be a horizon, and sometimes, and beyond the horizon is who knows what's there. Grow Your Garden saying, I'm in the same camp of seeing and feeling whatever to believe. I know when 40 years essentially of atheist then agnostic upbringing of my choice of what religion to follow, and none of them seemed logical enough to follow. Yeah, I can connect to this. So you've seen reptilians and mantises, right? Why do these beings look so much like normal Earth creatures? No idea. Maybe what we have on Earth, they're actually just kind of like approximations of what these things really are. I'm not sure. Dinah, I would love to know where you saw it online. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm currently seeing if Google search will find me any other sources where people might be putting these reports.
Felt like I did too much. I wasn't coming back. Do you want to come on and talk? Grow Your Garden? That'll be easier. Traveling these Fibonacci spirals. Yeah, this is a lot to read. Here, I'll just send you an invite if you want to come on and share it with us. In fact, I'll send an invite to everybody here. Whomever wants can just approve and come on, basically. Okay. What up, Ghost? The what?
Except just because I rarely speak,
Welcome.
and I usually just I don't have a lot to say. I'm more responsive. Like I hear something and it gives me something to think about, then I might suddenly have a lot to say about some random subject. But otherwise, I just enjoy chilling and just enjoying the energy, learning things from you guys.
You're more than welcome to do so.
Vibing.
When was the last time you were in the DMT dimension? Last time was when I did the extended state. So a few weeks ago, a month ago, maybe a little bit more. Am I going to the Sean Ryan show? If he invites me, sure. Why do you ask? That was a long ride, though. It was like 5 hours.
Hey, Danny, there's some people raising their hand.
No, I sent them. I raised their hand,
Gotcha.
and then they just have to approve.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Just saw his podcast of them talking about. Yeah, I know. It was very nice of Chase to mention our work. It's wonderful. Carter, how you doing, brother? Just sitting there quietly.
I'm doing well, my friend. I got a chance to preempt another facilitate group. I'm excited for tomorrow, and they're going to be their commitment to trying to break out and giving us good feedback is pretty exciting.
Amazing. It's oh my God.
Carter, how do you like anti-gravity?
So far combined with Jules, it's pretty good. I mean, what I'm trying to do is buy into the Google story to do it. And so I know I kind of have to suspend my fuck yourself Google kind of mind, and just use it for, continue to use it. And I think the criticisms that material design, which is sort of the framework, is a little bit to be desired, and they kind of force that on you a little bit. and I resent that. So I kind of try to resist it when I can.
Sanskrit, Japanese. Wait, hold on. There's something here.
Nice.
There's just a lot of words. To try and give it, then go me thinking again.
Yeah, so just to get people some context, Google has released a new model, Gemini 3, and along with that model, they released a bunch of new services like a new movie maker software called Flow. They released a new, what they call an IDE, which is like an environment called Anti-Gravity, and it's sort of like an answer like Visual Studio and like other developer tools out there. And it's designed to be integrated to their new agent tools and directly integrated into Google Cloud. And so you can one-shot applications with these new capabilities in a much more reliable way than you once were able to, because they can write their own tasks and they can write their own, sort of success or personally get better at giving the software that you want with really sloppy data. And that video you sent earlier, Nick, is good. Definitely worth people checking out about the differences between GPT 5.1 and Gemini 3. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think the trick is like how to prompt these things. A lot of these models have their unique like prompting structures, and I never really kind of understood that. I kind of just try to be as thorough as possible with my prompting, but it sounds like Gemini.
One of the ways that I've cheated that and use at your own, like your mileage might vary. But what I have Jules do is ingest best practices from the white paper of Google themselves. So like, hey, construct your prompt architecture according to these particular best practices. Since they're literally defined by them, it does seem to improve the net outcome, like the speed which I get, like the number of tokens I have to use to get to the right answer seems to be less when I do that kind of stuff. And I do the same with the others.
I've gone about it a different approach, but I like your take, like teaching it how to accept proper prompts. That's an approach. I kind of went about it the other way. I went and asked Grok and ChatGPT to be introspective. Like, okay, let's learn about how you work and what kind of prompts lead to what kind of results. So I have it list out its functionalities that it's been designed to do. I have it list out its unorthodox uses. It's basically its emergent qualities. And then I ask it, given a specific, from the list of types of responses or types of models, submodels, I should say, that it employs, I tell it, okay, now provide me the type of prompt that would best get the results that I want from each of the points in that list that it provided me. So it's kind of an exploration process with ChatGPT, and I've gotten some pretty incredible results with it.
That's awesome. I also like how Gemini has this planning mode. So instead of it just giving you an answer, it tries to kind of like organize, kind of like an ontology. And one thing that I noticed about ChatGPT 5.1, when I saw that video, David, I started telling it like, hey, push back on assumptions, and before we go down a huge conversation. And I noticed that it does do that. It says like, hey, I think you're convoluting two concepts. Let me explain both of these first and see where there's overlap.
Yeah, like I've been having the same experience. I mean, I've been seeing early iterations of that through Claude Code, like through the Opus model, and some of the sort of cursor integrations around like planning mode, particularly with Claude Code. That one's been a pretty good experience, particularly building good sort of architectures of thinking for the AI agents to work with. And there's like a bunch of GitHub repos out there that actually have people publishing their best practices that you can essentially just copy pasta and modify, which makes the process real fast. You can even tell your agents to go get them and find the best ones to use.
So what is the...
That's awesome. I'm checking that out right now. because Cloud is really powerful at code. It impressed me. I was using Grok. I was using ChatGPT for one of the side projects I'm working on, a coding project. And ChatGPT is pretty good at like going through the thought process of creating the code, but isn't that great at code. I think that's probably pretty well accepted. Grok was way better, and then I came across Claude, and holy crap, man! It spat out stuff that it took me a week of back and forth with ChatGPT or with Grok, and it spat it just one shot, like one well-structured prompt, and it gave me the full program. I was like, this is next level. I'm gonna be out of a job soon if this keeps up.
Well, I just think what it's gonna do is accelerate what people curious about this are capable of creating. Like that's really what I'm excited about. I mean, there's danger that comes with all that sort of stuff too. Like we're gonna stub our toes for sure, but I'll be honest.
Wait, what?
That this is gonna give people an opportunity to rediscover creativity and discover, just like learning new things rapidly.
Absolutely, yeah, totally agree.
What is the engine behind Cursor? Is it Gemini?
Well, you can pick your model.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was always this way?
Everyone has
Different agents using these different ones.
Oh.
Yeah, and every IDE has their own like lightweight free model, but it's nothing compared to like the latest models.
Interesting. Take a photo of and add those photos to AI to see what the code says. I mean, what? Photos of what? Of the laser?
Well, we actually do have some open source code. That was what Jeremy had been working on. That does do some. It's trying to do, all intents and purposes, is identify cogent characters within the laser lights with like photographs and video. It's a great baseline to get started. I mean, there's a whole lot of like branch thinking to do with that sort of stuff. But we haven't really had the opportunity yet to put hardware in, like meaning a proper model to evaluate that kind of light. So there's a lot of work to do there.
Yeah. Well, currently, to your question, Tango Bravo. Oh, Tango Bravo. I'm an idiot. Is that we don't really know how to perceive that with a camera. So we don't. I mean, you just be putting the light field, but that's not. This is not. It's not going to be very informative for AI. There's no pattern to recognize there. Currently.
We don't adjust the confidence of the eye yet.
The what? The what?
I said we don't adjust the confidence of the optics yet.
Exactly. What up, Grow Your Garden? How you doing? Glad you joined.
Hey, doing all right. You hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you great.
Alrighty.
Is this so? I just now reading the second paragraph. It says it was no. Oh, okay, no joke. I thought it was a joke. So you saw Purely pulled back again. That's when it looked in the hands. Sanskrit, Japanese. Was this on a trip? I missed that part. And
Yes, it was my second trip ever. Low dose, still relatively. It was only about 18 milligrams.
okay.
I was laying back in my living room, and right in the upper right field of vision, what my field of vision was, I've got a 75-gallon aquarium with little axolotls, little amphibian type creatures in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also got this red LED with a bubbler, and it projects this, this kind of stochastic pattern up onto the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that before or messed around with that previously. I know I've seen some things where you've stuck a laser and it's gone through a glass bottle with a medium of water.
Mm-hmm.
But this specifically, it was the red LED with the bubbler going through probably about 2 feet of water.
Mm-hmm.
And so it created about a 2 foot wide red stochastic pattern on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And that exact area of the field of vision, I had seen this like rotating sphere and with like almost like the rings of Saturn. And I had those code like figures
Mm-hmm.
rotating around this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I definitely want to look into. I actually just posted a couple of pictures of what that kind of pattern looked like.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Would you also share the actual like what the device itself is? It'd be super cool to see if maybe some of the lenses on that might be different.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I'll check the actual tech specs of it. I'll post it up even up the VeilBreak.ai under experiments. I did look it up. It said it was a 660 nanometer. So obviously,
Well, we know all
650
frequencies.
nanometer laser.
We know all frequencies work.
Plenty of picture, all visible wavelengths work.
All frequencies work. That's for sure.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's interesting because LED is different than a laser, but I think any diffracted pattern you should be able to. Oh, I see. I'm now seeing the picture of it. Okay. And would you say? Well, oh, first of all, was this DMT? What was it?
DMT. Yeah, from Mimosa Ocellus extraction.
Sorry, Dan, can you repeat what you said? Your mic kind of puzzled out. You said so an LED is not the same as a laser, but and then it just went all scrambly on my end. Anyway.
Oh, but I feel like if there's any difference in the way we perceive it, it might tell us something about what causes it to be visible.
Yeah, I think this could be a really interesting data point. So thanks for sharing, Roy, your garden.
Absolutely.
Have you ever tried it with anything else?
Not yet. Obviously that was still just the second time. I just started this at the end of August.
Okay.
So,
was it related to what we do, or it was
now.
completely unrelated? You just kind of this just kind of happened to you.
Yeah. It was literally, the first time I tried it, it was very, very super low dose, and I was just sitting on my bed, and literally the fibers of the bed became these giant 300-foot tall sequoia trees, and I was literally swimming through the fibers on the bed. And I mean, that was my very first experience. I really didn't know what to expect. And I just, recorded myself doing it, and like I just kept saying, "I love you, universe," throughout, every couple minutes. It fades back into reality, and I was like, "Wow, okay, there's a lot to this. There's a lot more that I know that I don't know, but it's certainly." I love learning, so jumping down into this rabbit hole is just amazing.
Yeah.
So was it after that experience that you started doing research and heard about the laser experiment, or did you hear about it first? How did you come across
it? I'd say 20 years ago, after graduating high school, I had learned about what DMT was, but I was like, all right, maybe one day, I'll do it. And then literally about 6 months ago, I had seen the DMT laser experience or experiment in a YouTube video. I was like, oh, I remember looking it up a long time ago. And then I just got a flood of videos and just all this, like, it was almost like a download or a calling just saying, hey, now's the time, go do it. So then I
that's super interesting.
Doing my own extraction, came out really well, and then jumped down the hole and looked at the discovery, and I was like, that's definitely something I want to look into. I personally haven't seen it in the laser itself.
You tried?
I haven't done it enough times, and also some of the few impromptu times that I've done this, I haven't had things set up, and I obviously want to get my intention right first and foremost. But
yeah, have you tried it in the laser and didn't succeed?
I have not yet.
Oh, got it. Okay, I thought you tried.
Stupid little low-powered cat laser at one time, but that you're not set up. You gotta hold the trigger, do that. You gotta get it all set up and steady so that you're not messing with all that. So I'm super excited to get it all set up to do the true experiment and see what I see.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel it's going to be really successful, especially after seeing what I saw just from that refracted LED through the aquarium.
How
You know,
how
the
long was
bubbles.
it visible to you?
What's that?
How long was it visible? Like as long as the molecule was an influence, 10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, just as long as it's influenced. I would say it was like within the first 3 minutes of ingesting it, you know, hearing the high pitched squeal in the ear, and I was like, okay, things are happening. And then I laid back, and then that's when I just saw all the Sanskrit lettering. It was almost like multiple panes of glass were filling up the room.
Mm-hmm.
So like every inch there was like an invisible clear pane of glass, but each pane of glass was just filled with letters coming off of that spinning circular red area where the red LED was shining at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So there was spinning letters coming off of that, and then it was basically launching those letters towards me through panes of glass, and then it was flowing all over my arms. At that point, I was like, okay, it's on my arms and hands. I felt like, okay, I'm here. I still exist. But I had known, like, when I came out of it, I was like, all right, it's 10:46, 10:47. So I had to go back and look at the YouTube history to find out when that last video was that I started playing. So I was like, okay, this whole interaction only took 10 minutes.
Wow.
But at the same time, you know, it felt like a couple weeks, maybe a month passed while I was actually in it.
Really?
It's weird. It felt like 30 seconds, but it also felt like a few weeks.
That's wild.
Coming out of it, I was like, wow, only 10 minutes.
I see. I've never experienced time dilation. This is so interesting. I've never ever experienced time dilation. People
Yeah, same
report
here.
this all the time. I've never experienced it. It's like, I guess time is time for me.
And being only the second time doing it, you know, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. I didn't know, okay, am I going to start laughing really loud and wake up, you know, my wife, for example, you know, and maybe that kind of thought process that I had in my head, you know, I was like, oh no, I did some molecule. Great, you're going to be in this thing for eternity. You didn't tell anybody what you're doing. So maybe some of those negative thought processes, you know, in my mind kind of prolonged it and made it seem longer than it really was, per se.
No, people report this, so it's not. I don't know if it's necessarily related to that, but I'm just saying I've never experienced it, but I know a lot of people do. I'm just always surprised when people tell me this because I don't. Yeah, I can imagine that what it would be like, but like never experienced it. Yeah, salvia definitely would. Yes, not on
It's funny you mentioned that.
Why?
I mean, obviously, you of all people know, you know, human language can barely scratch the surface of what you feel on this.
Mhm.
It feels. But coming out of this experience, it felt like an experience I had on a very large concentrated dose of salvia, of salvia, like 20 years ago.
Wow.
And coming out of it, it felt like I was uncovering something that everybody else knew on Earth, but I didn't know. And it was almost like a Truman Show.
Yeah, you just discovered. You
Yes,
came.
yes, very
yeah.
common.
Everything
Yeah.
was at play, and everything was placed perfectly exactly where it should. And I'm just waking up into it, and it's like somebody said, hey, you're an actor in this whole thing, and it's about time you figure that out because we've been waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds very, very familiar.
it's an insane feeling. Even the characters on the TV are doing things specifically to get a reaction out of you. Like, anyway, that's how it felt like for me. Yeah, it was very Truman Show. I think you said it best with that reference.
And to your question, Dinah, how often I do the molecule and shrooms? I mean, not that much anymore, but I've done them a lot in my life, for sure. Okay, so let's see if I was missing any other questions on TikTok, or Carter is telling us what frequencies so far we know work.
He's outlining the frequencies that he has in his new setup in the picture he posted above in the chat.
Mm-hmm. No, he posted it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
really purdy.
Very
Per-
pretty.
Purdy. Thank you, Guru, for the reminder. Yeah,
I have a quick question about that setup, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
sorry to
No,
interrupt.
you go.
Just a quick cue. Is that, I see that it's projected onto a darker surface. Is that the surface that you'll be attempting the protocol on? Or at this point, it doesn't really make a difference for you?
The darker
or just
surface
curious?
help. I'm not sure. I think it's just a matter of how your eyes see. I don't think there's anything particularly special about darker surfaces. I think it just gives you more contrast. Would you agree with that, Carter? Have you done Ibogaine? Yeah, I did Aya, never Ibogaine. I'm pretty sure at some point in my life I'll do it just because I'm mapping the space. I want to know what it is. I just have an issue with the fact that it's more dodgy on the heart, and you gotta have a medical team and all that stuff. Sounds unnecessarily dangerous, you know?
So I've been considering doing the protocol under an extended state, but via ayahuasca. Has anybody tried that yet?
Yeah, we had the shaman in Costa Rica do it with this ayahuasca ceremony, and it worked. Everybody could see it. He put it in the middle of the room on the roof, and everybody laid down in a circle and looked at it, and they could all see it. But so you can see it. I just feel like with Aya, you're more involved with your own personal journey. Just feels like might be almost like going against the grain a little bit.
Okay, valid point. Yeah. Happy to hear that. Yeah. So either way, as long as the tryptamine's in your system, it'll do the trick.
Oh, yeah.
regardless of the
Oh yeah. I really want to know. Me and Sean are brainstorming in the last few days. Like, what is it that prevents certain people to see it right away? I wish I would know the answer to this. It drives me insane. And actually, Carter also took him a little while. I wish I would know what that is. I really think it's as simple as your brain just learns how to deal with a lot of new information. It just feels more.
So I realize it's a bit still a bit, but like something that seems to I find with consistency that I'm paying attention to. That, folks who have sort of like exceptionally sort of strong analytical minds, like a really strong sense for like the engineer their work with their worlds, whether it's in science or academics or whatever, seems to take a while to acclimate to what they're doing. Like at least it did for me, for sure. I mean, I come from a very strong engineering background, and it took me a while to realize that like I was overanalyzing the thing, spending so much of my time trying to just collect information of what I was doing and how I was doing it that I wasn't allowing to actually experience. And me looking at it early and letting it go for it to just snap into place.
That's interesting. Because I can say the same probably applies to me, is that I definitely approached it from a very analytical standpoint. I'm not a software engineer. I think that it would make sense. And I think that it's the same thing that goes like why it's harder to hypnotize us. Right. Because we have to put ourselves more into a state of ease and letting it go before the hypnosis can do its benefits. Okay, I'm going to reflect on that. That's a good data point. Thanks.
So you're saying it has.
It can also be as simple as, there's something about, my particular biological makeup that makes it, that just made it harder to acclimate. A little extra Neanderthal in the blood or something. I don't know. That's an interesting idea. I've toyed around with that idea as well. I've taken the 23andMe test many years back, so I still have access to my results. And if ever it comes to pass that we need to look into data like that, I don't know how many of the participants will be willing to submit to a DNA test, but it would be some interesting data to cross-reference afterwards.
So you're saying it's related to
cool, Carter, to add on the veil break, like a set setting and substance, and try to tease out like even the failures are data points, right? So we should encourage people to report those, and then therefore try to draw like a correlation to it being a specific mindset and environment and substance and dose.
And by the way, the
Yeah,
answer.
you're actually touching on to something that has been on his mind for a while, and some of the facilitators have started to come together to put the baseline framework to think about migration, like how do we set people up, to sort of understand what their expectations and be just those, if we can just ask the right sort of pre-integration questions, we can, sort of gain a lot of understanding about what their expectations and like what, how they're hoping to come through the experience. And then on those things, whether they're successful or not, encourage them to continue to participate, not necessarily to keep doing the experiment, but to make sure that they tell us it didn't work and like what they thought about the fact that it didn't work. Like those data points are super freaking important to us. Don't want to miss them.
So first of all, so a couple of things. First of all, the answer to Sorella Gemella, is there a difference between male and female experiences? No, that does not seem to be a difference. To your question from before, Sean, the reason that the first protocols on veil break are saying 5 to 6 feet is because that's the original protocol I did, and that's how I started. And to your comment, grow your garden, I would say I'm also pretty analytical, and I didn't have a problem of seeing it. But then you are saying that you didn't see the code. But I thought you said you did. At least from what you described to us, that is the code. So what do you mean by you didn't see the code?
I haven't followed your protocol for the laser.
Oh, but yeah, but what you described is the code.
And so that's interesting to me because I saw that through a diffracted, stochastic pattern
LED.
from a red LED light.
Exactly.
Obviously, you said, frequencies are frequencies.
Yeah, that's why I said it was interesting.
But it didn't, I guess the code that I had seen per se, doesn't sound like the code that I have heard or read of what other people have seen using the laser. I've heard that it could be really small and tiny, or there's a whole bunch of them. Whereas mine, like once they were up to me, like traveling from that upper right hand field of vision on the ceiling, and then flying out towards me. Once they were right up in my face, these are like 5-6 inches tall.
That's exactly what Sean was reporting. So that's the same ones you saw, Sean.
Yeah. I was sharing this with Dan last night or the night before, I believe. So yeah, it's they were also much bigger for me. But again, when I experienced them, it wasn't under the protocol. I tried the protocol and haven't been able to see it through the protocol. So what I saw in my experience jives exactly with what I've heard Dan describe, what a buddy who also shared the same experience with me. He also went and checked some reference images that I gave him from people in the community here on Discord. So there's some overlap there that's really interesting. And the fact that they were presenting themselves in different sizes and in different ways based on the manner of approach, I think eventually is going to give us a bit of a better understanding of what we're dealing with here. But yeah, from the written description that you gave in the chat before you came up to talk, it sounds like you saw it. Yeah, it really does.
So this is super interesting to me because I think, like I said, the most common message or email that I get is that people see other codes. Well, they don't say other code. They say, I see the code without the laser, or I see the code without the molecule even. Like it's very common, literally the most common message I get. So what's interesting to me is that there are a lot of differences in these codes, but sometimes they're very similar to what we're describing, but a lot larger. Or sometimes they're a lot larger and you can perturb them. Like you can change them with your attention. I don't know if you tried that, but if you grow your garden, I don't know if you tried that, but I don't know if you could change it with your attention. But that's usually the tail sign of these. Yeah,
I'm not sure if I changed it or not. It seemed like they started revolving in the halo around this spherical shape.
Exactly.
Once I put my attention onto it.
Yeah, so I definitely I see those on a pretty regular basis on surfaces. They're kind of like subsumed in surfaces, and they're larger, but you can change their content. Like you can actually see, and I think there's different layers of these codes. Some of them are probably closer to what our consciousness is, so that's why we can change them. I think that whatever's in the laser, it's almost like the smallest building blocks of what makes up physical matter, and that's why you can't change it. Like it's super coherent. That's the main difference. So when you end up doing the protocol and you do see what it is, my main interest would be, do you think it's a smaller and more stable version of what you saw, or is it completely different in some way? That would be very interesting to learn.
For sure. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah. Solipsism works if you see it through that lens. Through what lens? Salvia makes no sense because it's like, oh, okay, so everyone thinks that everyone else is on the joke, which clearly are not. Oh, I see what you're saying. But if you're not seeing it through, it's only you and everyone else is just a fake illusion in a dream movie where they're in on something by, yeah, I have no idea. Nice. Jackie, I got upset at friends laughing at me. Then 2 minutes later, I snapped out of it. Went to the carnival and rode a roller coaster ride before I came. These people are wild. Because if others aren't real, then they wouldn't really be in on anything or know anything. Well, the question is, are they your own projections, right? That's really the in a truly solipsistic idea, you are still projecting the others, which would definitely make sense under this idea. Okay. We're coming out of the hour and a half. Unfortunately, I think I have to jump off, take my dog for a little walk. Thank you guys for joining. If you guys want to follow me across platforms, it's Danny Goller on Instagram and TikTok. It's Goller Danny on X. It's LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts. You can also check out my new show on Spotify, 0 to 1 with Danny Goller, from Earthbound Minds to Cosmic Citizens. Again, it's 0 to 1 with Danny Goller, the show that will be dealing mostly with the future of humanity and what it all entails. You can join the membership program on YouTube, which gives you early access to all my content. For example, the episode with Andres Gomez is already available for all paying members to see, and it has been for the last week and a half. It's going to become available for everybody else tomorrow, and this is how it's going to be for all content that I put out. If you sign up for the second tier and upwards of the membership program, make sure you email me to the email listed there, and I'll send you an invite for our monthly Zoom call with members. And also gives you access to my weekly live for members only, even in the first tier, that it happens on Sundays, in which we dive much deeper into topics and we talk about all kinds of things. It's a lot of fun. So join that. And you can also grab something from the merch store, which helps the channel tremendously. You can grab one of the mugs, the shirts, the hoodies. We have the core design, Code of Reality, and or the human first design, which I personally really love. The human first design denotes the attitude that we should treat each other as human first before any political affiliation or any conviction you might have about the world. I think it's an important thing to emphasize nowadays. And if you come join our Discord community of like-minded people sharing these ideas, you have the links right now, right here, where Guru, our moderator, is sharing them. And you can also just search for COR Core on Discord, or Code of Reality. And you can also find the links in the main YouTube page, and also in the link tree in the description on TikTok. Check out our codeofreality.com website, codeofreality.com, if you want to know more about the laser and the protocol, and go to veilbreak.ai, veilbreak.ai, if you want to report your laser experiments or see other people's reports. And if you still want to donate to the film, The Discovery is going to be coming out in the beginning of next year. And we're in full swing of post-production. As I'm sure a lot of you know, it's a very time and financially intensive process. So any donation is received with gratitude. You can find the GoFundMe page in the description of the trailer itself, which the link to that you can find right under this video, the second link from the description of this live, or just go to Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts, and find the trailer called The Discovery, and then just click on the GoFundMe page in the description and you'll find it there. if you donate over $1,000, you will automatically be put on a list of people who would see the movie all together for the first time ever in history as a world premiere with Q&A with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if not, of course, we're going to make sure you're going to see the film. What else? I'm going to be launching my Substack very soon. I'll be advertising that, and look out for the invite for the information for the retreats that are going to be coming up. So there's a lot of new things that are now coming in the horizon. I want to acknowledge our incredible guests, my partner in Quarter Reality, David Carter. Love you, brother. Thank you for always being here and doing what you do. Nico, our home scientist. Sean, our home genius. Ghost, one of our regular guests, is always fun to talk to. If I remember correctly, you're majoring in philosophy. And Grow Your Garden, who just shared some wonderful information, and I'm expecting to hear more of the shenanigans you're going to be doing with the laser and see if it matches everything else. Never Tools, Ralph, Brum, Monkey with 6 Nice, Stephanie. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Guru, our incredible moderator on YouTube and Discord. Love you, brother. You're incredible. And of course, last but not least at all, our audience. If you're new to the channel, if you're old to the channel, without you being here and participating and asking questions and debating and doing all the things, this channel is really nothing. So thank you so much for being here and following this work. It's very rewarding thanks to you. So definitely huge gratitude to the audience itself. Thank you, guys. Am I forgetting something? There's always this feeling that I'm forgetting something, but if I am, then it is what it is, and I'll remember tomorrow. In any case, thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, look out for the new episode with Andres Gomez. It will be very exciting. It's a really fun conversation. You guys are going to love it. That's it. Have a good night, everyone. Peace and love. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao. Good night, guys.